It's Funky Friday. Loving this week being here with Paula and Lex in Wimborne in this beautiful bookshop. And today we are going to be talking, funnily enough, about books, but talking about doing something you enjoy. Are you able to pan round?
I'll do a shot to do that. Yeah.
Okay, because I just think it's beautiful. So Paula, doing things that we enjoy.
Absolutely. Well, last time, Sunday, we were talking about a self-care plan, and this really feeds into that. When we're struggling in life, we tend to do the things that just have to be done. You know, sometimes it's not even getting up and having a shower. People can't cope with that. So I'm very, very keen that people find something that they can enjoy. And as I said before, it's what feeds you, what gives you that uplift feeling. And when you're struggling in life, it's difficult to find something that you enjoy. It really, really is.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, all the enjoyment has gone out of life. So what I get my clients to do is to think back to when they were a child. What did they like doing? What did you like doing as a child?
I quite like spending time with my mum in the kitchen. Not kind of like cooking dinners, but more baking, like cakes and stuff. And I must admit, now as an adult, there are times when I think I'm just going to bake a cake, just because I want to.
Yeah.
And my cakes aren't necessarily brilliant. They don't always get eaten. But
Is that because they can't be eaten, or just because they don't want them?
Sometimes they just don't want them, and I sort of beat myself up about eating sort of loads of, especially during lockdown. Let's have another cake. No.
And the banana bread, of course.
The banana bread, the famous. I don't actually like banana bread.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
It's not. Anyway, but yeah. So I suppose one of those things for me is baking, and for me it's kind of like that whole smell of home cooking. I love that.
So it took you back to your childhood, somewhere where you were safe and you were warm and you were loved. Exactly. And that's why I do that, is to go back. If you can't think of something that you want to do now, go back to something that you enjoy doing or you enjoyed doing as a child. But it is absolutely critical that you make time for something that you enjoy. It might not be what your partner enjoys. It might not be what your friends enjoy. But don't forget who you are and what's important to you. If it is, I've had people in the past say things to me that I was just like, I can't believe that that's something that you would really enjoy. I had a lady who all her life had been in finance, very traditional lady, a single lady, more mature. And I said to her, so, go back and think. She said, do you know what? I'd love to read Disney again. And I was like, that was not what I was expecting you to say. It was just like, really? But she loved it. Yeah. And she got back into that. She watched the film. She said, do you know what? I feel so uplifted after I've watched that. I feel like a different person.
Yeah. Isn't it funny, though, again, we were speaking a couple of days ago about how you do things with your children, like settling them down to get ready to go to bed, having that quiet time. But we allow our children, we positively encourage our children to do the things that they enjoy doing. My eldest daughter, well, both of my daughters are very good at art, which is something that I encourage. My eldest daughter, funnily enough, she's got a notebook and she's written down every single Disney film. And she is determined to watch at some point every single Disney film. But as adults, again, it's allowing ourselves to indulge ourselves, to do what we want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And we just don't. We get into this hamster wheel of everything's got to be done, especially if you've got a family and, children that you've got to look after, pets you've got to look after, you've got a full-time job maybe as well, single parents, married, whatever the personal circumstances. There are, the pace of life is so fast. And actually that's, I do quite a lot of talks, and the question that when I open it to the floor, everybody goes, why are we all so stressed now? Why is it now? And if you sit back and you think, everything is instant. Somebody sends you a text or you've got to reply straight away, an email straight away. If you don't, why didn't you reply to me? you've got to have the perfect house, the perfect car, the perfect look, the perfect children, the perfect everything, because social media and the media in general is just pushing that onto us all the time. So we're striving for something that actually is unachievable. But what that gives us is stress and anxiety, and the thing that falls foul of all of that is looking after ourselves. We don't.
I think probably in our parents' era, when we didn't have the social media, we didn't have the mobile phones, I also think work was a lot easier. I remember my father's work day and my mum's, it was set. He started at this time and he finished at that time. And when my mum came home from work and my dad came home from work, that was it. They would say, how was your day, blah, 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 5-minute chat about work. But then we didn't have computers, so they didn't check anything. They didn't have those kind of work conversations that went on into the evening, or demands from work that went on into the evening. So it was a lot easier just to sort of cut yourself off. Yeah.
It was so much easier in that way. I mean, there was other issues, clearly, you know, in those days, but not the speed of life. The speed of life is what's causing, and the expectation that is put upon us, that we put on ourselves. There's very few people go, well, yeah, I don't really need to earn that sort of money. You know, I don't really need that big house. You know, people are striving for all these things all the time. That creates our own issues. Yeah,
and I think that takes us perfectly back round to our first conversation about sleep, about putting all that stuff to one side. A couple of hours before you go to bed, to let your mind and your body begin to rest before you want to go to sleep.
Yeah, for sure. So be kind to yourself.
So there's a really nice message for today. Be kind to yourself. And again, self-care plan. Contact Paula Thompson at Stress Right, and she will be delighted to help you come up with your plan.
I certainly will.